What's happening? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Facebook land. How are you? It's Knowledge by Nikki at 9 o'clock this morning. That's 9 o'clock Central. If you're in the East Coast, it should be 10. If you're on the West Coast, it's 7. It's early in the morning, okay? I am in spring cleaning mode. I don't know about you all, but every year when March hits, now mind you, I'm in Chicago, right? So when March hits, we start getting excited because we are really sick of the cold by now. And this year has been really unreasonably cold. It's just been crazy cold. So we're ready. So in March, it'll be March 1st, in a couple days, I automatically start thinking about how to prepare. Whether it's my home, whether it's my business, whether it's, I don't really care what it is. I automatically start thinking, what do I need to get straight, to get correct? And for those of you all that watch me on a regular basis, you know I speak about things in terms of quarters all the time. So first quarter is coming close to an end, right? First quarter is almost winding down. And what's up, everybody? I see everybody saying, hey. I actually wanted to talk about spring cleaning in a different way today. But let me tell you what I ran across. My daughter, Taylor Madison, you all could look her up on Facebook, and she actually is always sharing or sending me personally some really good stuff, y'all. This a millennial. So she's 23, which means she lives with one of these coming out her ears, right? So she's like great at finding stuff that I would probably never find. So I was thinking about spring cleaning. I was going to talk about it in a different way, but let me tell you what she found me. I'm going to have to when you get old, when you got to put your glasses on and take them off to see. This is what she sent me, and I actually shared it this morning, and this is what it talks about. The things that if you want real change in your life, let me just say that. A lot of people say they want change. They say they want it. And when you really start going through the motions of how to maybe get them to change, because I'm a coach, as some of you all know, I coach, do business salon and development courses for people who either want to open or help people that are already open trying to kind of get their stuff back in order. But when you want real change, it comes with a sacrifice. And as I was saying, I have talked to probably thousands of people by now about what they say they want to do. And I've even had people say this to me, and you all tell me this if you've had some people say, change is just hard for me. Change is, it takes me a minute. Any of us had a client that I got some salon professionals out there. Any of you all had a client whose hair was either raggedy, needed to be cut, or who just needed a new look, just something was wrong, and you've talked to them for weeks and months and years about trying whatever, and they just struggle with, and I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Especially when you have nothing to lose, or especially when it's something that if you don't like it, you can change it back. But some people really struggle with making that change. Now, this is the thing that I had to come to learn. I'm actually in a course right now where I'm learning about, it's for coaches, and it's where I'm learning about the core behavioral traits that make us all either do or not do what we do. There's always an underlying situation. There's always something underneath that keeps people from changing. But this is what I have discovered and I've learned, and this is where spring cleaning becomes a real hard task for some of us. It's not the change that you're really worried about. It's really the giving up of something else that you now possess. It's not the change. It's not we're wondering, like, what is so difficult about the thing that actually you're going into? Is a better situation. But I'm learning they're not really afraid of the new thing. It's something that paralyzes them, good or bad, from giving up the old thing, even when it's not working. And me now being on the side of coaching and having to analyze and read between the lines and figure out what people are actually needing, I'm listening to people talk about, this is broken, this is messed up, this ain't working, so I'm like, okay, you telling me all of what's not working, and I'm telling you what to do that can work. What is the struggle? What is the, and when I do it, guys, I'm not a person that, I realize it, you know, baby steps for some people. Everybody ain't gonna jump off no bridge. It's like if you go to a financial planner and they ask you what's your risk tolerance, they know some people, you know, they got to be a little comfortable, and some people, they'll jump off the bridge. So even if you're that person that has to be comfortable, I take baby steps. I really take baby steps in order to get you to shift to that thing that you say you want to do. I'm going to read something, and this is what I realize is more the culprit than just the fact that you don't want to do the new thing. Listen to this. This is the type of things that change is going to require, because it has to start here first. This was on, my daughter put this on Facebook, and it claims Tyler Perry said this. Who knows if he really said it or not, but it was really good things. The first thing it talked about is you have to make a plan. That's the first thing. Some of y'all don't have no plans. Y'all just, you just wake up and roll the dice. That's not going to work, y'all. At some point in your life, I don't care how much of a spontaneous person you are, or how much of you like different things and excitement, and you don't want things to be so regimented and structured, and some people really don't want that, and there's a part of that keeps life interesting when you are that way. But you are going to have to make plans and raise your standards. That means for you owners, for the workers, I'm talking barbers, I'm talking about, I don't care what position you're in, to get to the new place, the first thing you're going to have to do is change or raise your standards. That's just like when you think in terms of money. Okay, when you started off in this business, you thought to get to $500 a week was great. But then when you got there, you got to raise the bar. And then you're going to think about, okay, I need to get to 1,000. And then you got to raise the bar some more. And you have to do this. People don't raise the bar for you. You have to raise the bar. It's almost like when a kid is, you know, all of us have seen the door example where a kid wants to get to a certain height and he measures himself and he puts a line, and then he grows some more, puts another line, and he or she just keeps doing this. You have to continually raise the bar. You have to continually strive for something else. That's why one thing that an author that I love, Simon Sinek, and one thing he talks about all the time, he has a new book coming out called The Infinite Games. And he talks about this is how we all have to approach life. Not in terms of goal setting, in terms of growth setting. As long as you continually think growth, you will always raise your standards every time you want to go to another level. But listen to this, guys. Raising your standards is going to require you to give up something. It's going to require you to sacrifice some comfort, some things that you didn't get real comfortable. This, I will tell you, is one of the reasons a lot of you all, and this is on the maybe salon owner, stylist, but I'm really talking to stylists. But if you're an owner and you still do hair, this is also what happens when you become too familiar with your customers. When you become too familiar with your customers to the point where you don't care about customer service no more, you don't care about the things that you once did to get them, now what happens is you start losing them, because the thing that made them sit in your chair, because we cool now, you no longer do. And that's in life, period. You no longer do. So my thing is, don't be shocked if the thing that you now want from them starts to decline, because you have to raise the standards. And now you've got them. Now you want to kick it up a notch, and you want to now make them go into something else that you're doing. Or as you grow and stretch, now you're this kind of stylist. You want to go into this. You want to move them in this direction. That's like going from being basic to now you want to be a colorist to now you want to be a trichologist. You are raising the bar for yourself, which means that you also have to get people to step it up. It's just like price changes. You got to get them to come up. No, I want to hear people say, when it comes to price changes, because I'm raising my standards and the bar for myself, it ain't about you saying you're not coming. It's about, oh, Lord, because every time I've raised my prices, you know what my clients say? Whoo, I'm going to have to go get me a part-time job. I'm going to have to work some overtime. I've never, ever heard one of them say, I ain't going to be able to come no more. You know what they say? I'm going to have to kick it up. because I'm still coming. So I'm going to have to get a part-time job. I'm going to have to work some extra hours. That's the way you want to train people around you to move with you. You raise your standards, they're going to have to come up, or guess what, guys? They fall by the wayside. And that's, I don't care who it is. Your friends, your family. Now, people we didn't choose, we still stay connected to them, but you know where the limitations are with how much you will allow and how much you will not become a part of, because you've risen above that. You got to raise your standards. You absolutely do. Make a plan, raise your standards, and live by, and be consistent. That's the thing you want to make important. Second thing, this is something interesting. It said, immediately start a business and duplicate it worldwide. That means when I hear the word duplicate, I'm not just thinking like franchise. I'm not just thinking let's franchise this thing. What I hear in terms of the group that I serve, which is the salon industry, what I hear is that we have to be consistent. We have to be able to repeat this stuff. That's why I'm so anal, if you want to call it that, when I teach. I make people break down the baby steps that go into something as simple as a haircut. You know why? Because if we are winging it, which we are, based off our talent, you give somebody an awesome haircut, you can't give it to them the next time they come back because you had no structure, no plan, no blueprint. I have no idea how I got to that haircut. I've done a color. Woo, praise God, it turned out right, but I have no idea what I put in this bowl, how much it is, how much of that. So you can't duplicate anything when you're winging it. You can't. If you are running your business, just getting up, praying, throwing up the dice, seeing what happens, you will be basically blown in the wind. You just going to be however. Things going to hit you by the blind side. You're not going to know what happened. You're not going to know how to fix it because you have not created a transferable, duplicatable model that can be repeated over and over and over and over again. And if you decide to franchise, this says worldwide. You want to, hey, let's do it. Let's raise the bar. Let's travel the world with this thing. Let's look, my husband has a mobile barbershop that he's getting together. Okay, that means that however he sets himself up here in Illinois, when he goes to, if he drives to California, if he drives to Michigan, it should become this working model that as he becomes known and builds his brand, people will know this, that this particular mobile barber shop actually represents this. This is what we're not doing, guys. You know why? Because we ain't got no structure. We winging it. Oh, the name of the book, I see somebody ask me the name of the book by Simon Sinek. It's called The Infinite Games. It ain't even out yet, and I've already pre-ordered it. It's actually, you get off Amazon. You can pre-order it on Amazon. It's called The Infinite Games, and it's about in business never thinking in terms of, I got here, now I'm cool. Now I'm going to sit and chill. No, you're not. No, you're not going to chill because then you raise the bar again. And you get to another level. You have to continually do this if you want to grow. That's what it is, guys. Okay, so you got to create a duplicatable business model, blueprint to your haircut, blueprint to your color. You got to do some stuff in a way. So let me say this. Some of my greatest things that I have accomplished at this stage of my life, I've just done something and it worked. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I do that? What am I going to do? So let me tell you what I had to do. Hairstyles, ideas that I came up with. I had to then step back and push pause, as I call it, and then try to go back and actually figure out what I did. Let me give you all some advice. Now, this is part of what I do for my build group. So I'm going to give y'all this free, but my build group is a subscription Facebook page that I'm teaching people how to master their chair. And I'm giving them these type of tips. So I'm going to give y'all a little tip today. If you are doing anything that you're not sure about the steps that you've taken to get there, the best thing to do, and I started doing this, the next time you do it, record yourself. Record yourself. Just put your phone on, your iPad, if you got an actual video recorder, record yourself, and then, and don't change anything. Do it like you normally do it, just however you normally do it. Then you go back and you watch yourself. When you watch yourself, it's almost like when athletes play a game, They go back and they watch the game so they can see themselves, the mistakes they made, the good things they did. But it allows you also to create plays in terms of sports. You can now create a play. You can now say, oh, okay, I did this first, this second, this third, this fourth. Now you can start creating systems. Because you're not going to grow without a system. I'm telling you, I don't care how much you like living off the cuff and jumping off bridges and just say, I'm just going to do something. I don't want to be that structured. If you don't create a system to be able to ensure that you're going to be able to do this again, you're going to constantly be getting clients. Your whole life will operate like that. You won't know where nothing is. You'll be doing stuff one time, but you won't have a repeat business because, believe it or not, I did a round table, it was years ago, with clients, just a bunch of people that frequently service salons. You know what they told me? The number one thing that keeps them from going back to their stylist? Inconsistency. It wasn't being late. It wasn't having a bad attitude, although that stuff needs to be fixed too. It was inconsistency. I can never get the same thing twice. You know why? Because there's no system. You can't create something again when you have no system. So that's the only way you're going to duplicate yourself worldwide. Listen to this, y'all. Y'all ain't going to like this, right? And I'm guilty to a degree. Stop wasting time on Netflix, games, dumb stuff, and people. Ain't that something? I will tell you, as my life has evolved, I am a movie, but I should have been a movie critic. I know all the actors' names. I'm like really deep into movies. But I have learned, as I've gotten busy, as much as I want to tell myself that I played a movie in the background and it helps me work, and you know how we do, it actually distracts me. And it takes my focus off of what I'm doing. So I have had to minimize, and Netflix, Prime Video, all of them. Okay, we got movies downloaded. But as you grow, you will not have the time or the mental capacity to spend all your energy Netflix, playing games. It says dumb stuff and people. Now, I didn't say dumb people, but I think that's what it meant. It said dumb stuff and people. If a person doesn't have a plan, that means if you are in places and things and you are laser focused on your agenda and you running around with people that have no agenda, you have to cut them loose, or you're going to have to give them 50 feet. And this could be anybody. You're going to have to limit the amount of time that you spend around them, because I don't care what people say. When you are spending a lot of time and energy, a strong mind, people are like, oh, I got a strong mind, ain't nothing going to influence me. Keep spending time around people who have no plan, have no structure, have no destination. They just get up and just, let's figure it out day by day. Keep spending a lot of time around them. You will find yourself getting lazier and lazier and lazier. You will find yourself spending a lot of time being unproductive when you're typically a productive person. This is what you have to do. You have to start minimizing some of this. And I'm not saying it's cool to push pause, take a break. You can't work all the time. I had to learn that about myself. But you're going to have to monitor the amount of time, as it says, Netflix, games, dumb stuff, and people. You're going to have to monitor that. And that will, once you start that, now the change, the spring cleaning you need to do will become less distracting. Okay? This is important. Then it says, it talks about money. You got to figure out a way to make 1,000, to make 2,000, to make 5,000, etc., etc., etc. Weekly is what it says. And I thought that was great, because that's how most of us in this industry live. We live from week to week. Now, I'm going to give y'all another tip. This is from my Build group. If you want to join Build, just DM me. I'll send you all the info. It's a secret group that it's a really cheap subscription fee, but I give you these pointers constantly so you can master your chair. If you are a person that wants to say, okay, I've gotten to this plateau, it says 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, etc., you have to literally forecast your week. That means today is Wednesday. I know a lot of stylists work Wednesday through Saturday. So yesterday, which was Tuesday, you should have, I don't care what type of system you have online, if you still writing, if you got it in your phone, I don't care. You need to look at your week, look at everybody in your week. You should, first of all, if they're regular, which my goal is to get everybody where they're doing some people regular. But even if they're not, and you got online scheduling, you should know what they're getting. Hey, Nicole, that's my girl from Bill. We coming, Nicole. I'm giving them a little tip of what you're going to get in Bill, but we ain't going to give it all to them, okay? But I'm going to tell them, when you forecast your weeks, so you got your weeks, you want to forecast, that means you want to look at, print it out. Whatever you need a printer. Go buy you a printer. I don't care if it's a photo printer. Go buy you a printer so you can print some of this stuff off, because I want to get you into the habit of reading, okay? So you want to print your whole week off. When you print your whole week off, you want to analyze how many people. You want to say, okay, I got 10 people. I'm being generous. I know some of y'all ain't there yet. You got 10 people. You want to already have thought about this one, or because it might change. You know, I don't know how you do your system, if you only give them what they book for, or if you leave room for added services, whatever. But you need to kind of track out, this person is going to end up at this amount, this person, this amount, this person, that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You do that for the whole week. Once you do that for the whole week, you're going to obviously come up with a total. You need to do that for at least 3 months straight. Once you see that in 3 months, then you're going to get a good average of what your weeks, because, I mean, clearly, you add them up, you divide by 12, which is 3 months, that will give you a weekly average. Once that's your weekly average, now we got to raise the bar a little bit. We got to raise the bar, so several things could happen here. Your prices could increase if it's time for that. If you haven't done an increase, increases should be done at least every 3 to 5 years. If you do them every 3, they're going to have to be a little smaller. If you do them every 5, you do them where it count. That means you hit them hard, because you ain't coming back for 5 years. But you're either going to have to do a price increase, or you're going to have to put in your mind, I'm going to add on service or start creating what I call commitment conversations. And it's almost like a script without sounding scripted. This is something, if you join my build, DM me if you want to join. I teach you how to say what, when to say it, because now I'm trying to take this week from whatever it is on an average to now taking it to 2,000, to 3,000. There are things you're going to have to set up before they get there. One thing would just be simple. I teach color, as a lot of you all know. When you're teaching color, when I started getting into color, I set up these conversations in this system. Okay, I'm doing $1,500 a week. That was way back in the day. I'm doing $1,500 a week. I need to get that to $2,500. So how am I going to get at least 50% of these people that don't get color to get color? That's how I'm going to change it. And I'm going to tell you, color will change it real quick. Like, really quick. Like, you will look up and you'll be at 4,000, 5,000 before you know it, but you got to master that thing. You can't be winging it. And you have to structure and learn how to do it. But this is what you do. In order to do that, you have to come back, look at your reports, and say, okay, for 3 months, I had these many people, and I did X, Y, Z on an average. Now I got to bump that up. This is a 3-month thing. You can't do it from week to week. You give yourself 3 months, because it'll take care of the slow periods, the busy days. It'll kind of average all that out. This is how, one of the ways. It's a bunch of ways. If you want me to do that for you personally, I also consult and do that. Or if you want to join one of my coaching groups, I got a bunch of them. Whatever you need, direct message me. I also got the stuff online, knowledgebynikki.com, and I'll be able to help you if you need some help with structuring that, because you got to strategize that out. That's intended. You walk in, growth is intentional. It does not just happen. And even when it happens on a fluke, maybe you came up with something that nobody thought of. Now you got to go back and structure it so you don't lose the momentum. Okay? But this is what you do. Then it goes into save 40% of what you make and invest it. Now, let me tell you something. For years, I'll be 50 this year. And I actually probably didn't do this type of stuff consistently until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Now, I didn't do 40%, but I did at least 10%. And then that grew. And then I became disciplined enough that I'm going to pay myself. I don't care what ain't going on. Because you all got to remember, we are stylists. We are in an industry that anything could happen. Mishaps could happen. They do happen. What are you going to do? I don't care if you don't put but $5 up. This wants you to get the 40%. and invest it. That means when you decide you're going to take some money and do something with it, don't do dumb stuff with it, which is where I'm going to the next actual spring cleaning thing we need to do. You need to invest it in something. If you want to start a product line, if you want to expand your business, if you want to buy your business versus actually leasing your business, if you want to invest in some of your workers, maybe pay for them to be educated in certain things where you have them sign like a contract and a non-compete clause that they will perform this service here because I paid for your education. Invest it in something that has what we call a ROI, that has a return on your investment, okay? You have to do that. So this is something, saving and how much is something we get into a discipline of doing at some point, but we gotta do something. I don't care if it's $5. And it took me years to become disciplined with that because you know how it goes, something happened, you dip in that money and you take care of it, but what happens is it disappears, and then when you need it, it isn't there. And take that from a person who has made thousands probably now of dumb business mistakes that I had to beg, borrow, and steal to fix them, and then made them again. And eventually I said, I'm done with that. I'm not going to do that no more. I'm not beg, borrow, and stealing no more. I'm not robbing Peter to pay Paul no more. I'm not maxing out every credit card I have no more. At some point, you have to just say enough. Enough. And I have had 9 surgeries in my lifetime. I'm talking about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 4 weeks. How many of us could handle that? How many of us could handle if you off for 4, 6, 8 weeks? What are you gonna do? And you ain't saved a dime nowhere. This is a discipline that we have to get into. We have to, okay? Then let me tell you what it says next. It's interesting. We talk about buying stuff, right? It says stop. I'm gonna say this again. Stop buying stuff that has no value. Y'all hear me? That is something, guys, my black people, and I know everybody on here is not black, but I'm talking to my black people, to people brown like me. I get it. I lived it. I know what it means to do the cars and the furs and the bags and the red bottom shoes, and then been there, done that, got not the t-shirt, got the whole outfit, got all of that. There has to come a time in your life, and I'm not saying you can never do some things that don't have no value. You will not go to any financial expert and they'll tell you don't ever treat yourself to something. They're not going to ever say that. But what they are going to say is you cannot grow at the same time and you're constantly spending it ain't even extra money. You're spending the money that ain't even extra on stuff that has no value all the time. Guess what, guys? You can plan that part too. If you want to go shopping and you want to say, you know what, I just want to buy myself some new clothes, whatever, plan that too. Save your money, go shopping, get it out your system, and then that's it. But buying stuff every day, all day, stuff that is not going to be of any use, of any value, constantly, is going to keep us all in the hole. It's going to keep us all. I am bothered, and I will say this because I know prom season is coming up. I get it. You want your child to look absolutely just the best. You want their prom to be the best thing that they have ever had, at least up to this stage in their life. But I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't understand. When people aren't living this way, when this is not your lifestyle, I don't understand buying a child shoes that are the same price as your mortgage. I don't understand that. I don't understand getting them shoes that are the same price as your rent. I don't understand sacrificing rent and mortgage to buy a dress. I don't understand that. I wasn't raised that way. So I don't get when you're not in that space. If you got the money like that and it ain't taken from nothing, fine. But when you're not there, we don't want to not only do that and put ourselves in the hole, but we also don't want to teach our children that this is what they do. Bad money habits, bad eating habits, these are the things, and I'm talking to my black people because I had to break some cycles too. I know that these are the things that we pass down to our children. Whether we think we are or not, they see what we do, they emulate what we do, and then subsequently when they get older, they end up having to make the same sacrifices, not wanting to, that we do, and then we're wondering where they got it from. They got it from us. That's where they got it from. How we eat, how we live, how we do everything. And I'm saying this because I myself had to wake up and break some cycles and say, I'm not going to do this no more, even though everything I was around was doing that, because I had to make the decision that life has to be better than this. I don't want to live like that. This is something where we spend our money, where we store up our treasures, as the Bible says. This is where our heart also is. But the problem is, I'm buy a nice car. I done had all of them. Trust me. I done had all that. All these luxury cars. You buy a luxury car. Before you buy a luxury car, make sure you can afford the oil change. Make sure you can afford the maintenance. Make sure you can afford the insurance. Make sure you can afford that they got $400 tires, and every time you need 4 tires, you got to spend over $1,000. Make sure you can afford that. Okay? We just jumping off bridges. And see, I'm saying this because I coach people now. And I tell them, I said, look, I've been where you are. And I'm coaching you because I ain't telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. And at some point, no matter what I tell you, you got to make the decision to stop certain behaviors. You just got to stop. You got to change your value system. And let me tell you something. Your value system starts changing depending on who you're around. When you think you the best of the litter, and when you think you got it going on, start putting yourself in some environments with some people that's really got it going on. You will feel like, I ain't doing nothing. I got to get it together. You start putting yourself in environments with those kind of people, man, they will overshadow you, and what you talking about ain't nothing. You'll be quiet because you know what you think you got ain't nothing, and you need to get it together. We have got to start looking at our money differently. And like I said, I still like nice things now. Let me tell you what my culprit is. Even now as I'm talking to you, I love fine dining. Take me now. I eat healthy. I eat healthy now. Take me to a restaurant. I don't care what food costs. I don't care if the steak is $150. That's my thing that I have to discipline myself from. So let me tell you what I did. I know that's my struggle. And I ain't talking about eating bad food. I just love dining. I love restaurants. I love just the experience and the fellowship that comes with people eating together. And let me tell y'all something. You know how expensive eating out can be? My stylists out there, y'all give me a heart, give me a something if you know what I'm talking about in terms of food. You can spend so much money on food. You look up, you done paid 2 mortgages and what it costs to eat. And I had to realize that I gotta change that. I still love fine dining, but I can't eat $30 lunches and $40 dinners every day. It's if you're not eating healthy, you're gonna end up fat and broke. I said I gotta do better. So what I did in my studio, I got a full-fledged kitchen. I'm talking about I could make a whole Thanksgiving dinner up in this joint because I needed to figure out a way to keep me from out of the restaurants. And I don't really like fast food. I'm not a fast food girl. So I'm pulling up to Outback curbside. This for lunch. I'm pulling up. I'm eating. It's a restaurant not far from me. I don't really do a lot of beef and pork. Beef I don't have to ever have. Pork, every blue. So I'm pulling up to a restaurant and they make like, what do they call it? Shrimp Creole omelets. We talking about $30 breakfast, $40 breakfast, and I'm still gonna eat 2 more times today. So I didn't spend $200, $150 on food for one day. And then I was a Starbucks junkie. And I still, every blue. This is maybe my 2nd Starbucks of the week. But I said, you know what? I was drinking 3 Starbucks a day. 3, y'all. Do y'all know what that costs? I was spending in excess of $10 to $15 a day on Starbucks. Do you know what that looks like in a year? Y'all do the math. I said, this is retarded. So what I did was that Keurig latte machine that you see on TV with the guy that's the TV host. I forgot his name. The guy with the British accent. I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy it. I thought it was high, but it was like $200. I said $200 is way less than $10 to $15 a day at Starbucks. All of us have something that kind of has a hold on us. And you have to be conscious enough to say, enough is enough. I got to curb some of this. I still get Starbucks every blue. This is my second of the week. But I buy almond milk. And honestly, it tastes, really what I make sometimes tastes better than Starbucks. But we got to stop spending our money on stupid stuff. We got to, okay? So whatever your thing is, you need to look at it. And let me tell you what'll change you. When I really start focusing on food is when I really got better with my money, and I started really looking at my reports and adding it up, and not just whatever it ended up at the end of the year. I started saying, let me see what I'm actually spending on each one of these things every year. When I first realized I was being bananas with food, I think it was like $1,748 in 1 month on food, y'all. That's retarded. I said, oh, no, Nick. And I didn't even realize I was spending that kind of money on food. Because, again, it's $30 here, $40 there. I love taking people to lunch. Oh, I got you. That's me. I got you. I got all y'all. Like, I got it like that, right? I got all y'all. Man, listen, I said, this ain't going to work. Then I got workers, so every time I travel, I got to pay for them to eat. It was ridiculous. I said, this is not working. So guess what I do now, y'all? I actually, when I travel, because I'm more health conscious now, when I travel, I literally stay at hotels that have kitchens in them. They need to have a kitchenette. If they don't have a kitchenette, I literally take a small conduction hot plate, I take a small griddle, and I also have a small electric skillet, and I also have a small crock pot. And me and my people, we actually cook. We cook breakfast. I rent a car when I get there, so we cook breakfast, we cook lunch, we'll put something in a crock pot and have it ready for dinner, literally. And I got inspired to do that by Big Bad D. I don't know if you all remember him. I'll never forget. If he out there, tell him he changed my life when I saw him do this about 15 years ago. 15, 20. He invited me for a meeting to talk about some business stuff. He's always been health conscious. He said, you know what, Nick, we were at a show. He said, I haven't eaten. I'm not eating that food in this concession stand. So can you meet me back? We were supposed to have the meeting at the convention center. He said, can you meet me back in my room? And so I can cook myself some food. So I'm thinking, y'all, because I'm like, we like at a La Quinta Inn. We had something that everybody at the same hotel because it was like the only hotel there. So I'm saying to myself, cook some food. What? He got a special room? He got something I don't know about? All I could tell y'all, this was maybe 20 years ago. I watched that man, and it changed my life. I watched him pull out from a small check-in bag. I watched him pull out a conduction hot plate, a pot, a small griddle, a small, like electric, just a whole kitchen. He pulled out seasonings that he travels with. He pulled out all this stuff out this bag. And I saw he had a dry ice container, like a styrofoam container, like the coolers that you get from the gas station. He had that over there. And he had went and bought some free-range chicken. And he had bought some vegetables. And I can't even tell y'all what the meeting was about. I was so amazed. I watched this man, while we meeting about whatever we were talking about, make a whole healthy chicken Alfredo in front of my very eyes at the La Quinta Inn. All I can remember saying to him is, do you do this everywhere? But he was way busier than I was. So I said, I ain't got no excuse. So that I thought about that. And I've talked about it often. I do the same exact thing now because food is where I'm wasting my money. So I need to fix that. So y'all get it? Fix that, okay? Then it talks about education. You all hear me say this all the time. It says, read some more books on the greatest people. Self-educate. That I cannot explain enough how reading changed my life. I hated reading. I ain't read nothing if it ain't illustrated or got a hairstyle or got some pictures in it. That's how I used to be. And the book that started me reading was John Maxwell, How Successful People Think. And I didn't even read that because I wanted to. I read it because I was sitting in an Orlando airport, stuck for 9 hours because of whatever, and I couldn't get out. I didn't got massaged. I didn't ate. I didn't did whatever I thought I could do, and I still had all these hours to pass. I'm like, I didn't slept. I'm like, okay, what else am I going to do? I ain't sleeping. I ain't hungry. I ain't paying no more money to get no more spa stuff. And I went in their Hudson News store in that airport. And I bought this little bitty book. Actually, I got it right here. I'm glad it's within reach because I'm in my office. You see this book? I bought this little bitty book. Y'all see this? This book changed my life. Anybody who knows John Maxwell, if you've been to certification, send him a shout out. Say, John Maxwell. And I have every book he's ever written now. This book changed my life. I read this book in 2 hours. Literally, in 2 hours. I read this book and I said, this is amazing. And the thing was, I was at that place in life where I knew I needed to change something. And this book, to show you how long this, and it ain't even been that long ago. I'm trying to see. This book was published, 2009. So I really only started reading because it was new then. I started reading only 10 years ago. I read everything now. I've read hundreds of books now. But this book changed my life. It changed the way I thought. I said, I want to be a successful person. So how do they think? I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. And you know, wealthy and rich is not the same. But I want to be wealthy. I want to think wealthy. I want to be in a position, and I say this all the time, I only want to be rich so I can help other people. Because see, God always takes care of me. I'm going to be all right. I want the resources to give back. It's nothing like being in a position where you can take your money and people that really need and want what you have, you can actually assist them. It ain't nothing like that. Okay? So that is something that book changed my life. So it says you got to read. Everybody's looking for a physical mentor, and we need that too. Or a physical coach. We need that too. But you have to be willing to self-educate. We are in an information age where there is no excuse for you saying you can't figure out something. You know what I even do with my coachees? Because I'm trying to get them into the discipline of not always just asking stuff and looking for it first. Don't call me and say, when is Bronner Brothers? Because all you got to do is go on your phone and put BronnerBrothers.com. And that's exactly what I'll send them. BronnerBrothers.com. All you got to do is read it. All you got to do is read it. I know us as stylists or beauty professionals, we're not accustomed to having to read stuff because we do things with our hands. That's not part of our DNA or what we do. But you're going to have to pick. I do Audible, do audiobooks there, and still read the book. I do both. I got Audible and I buy the book. This is something leaders read. Successful people, you ain't going to find one in this world that does not read. Some more than others, but you have to start reading. You will be amazed at what you can learn out of a book. And books are sometimes a lot cheaper than having to constantly pay people to help you. This is something you're going to have to do in conjunction. Ain't nothing wrong with help. If you need help, go get it. Because some of us need people, even though we read it, we need people to help us navigate. Okay, I know what it says, but how do I set that up? How do I strategize? How do I structure? That's fine. Then that's what you do. Okay? Then that's the last thing it talks about. And look, I just got here, y'all. So I am not the poster child for this. I just got this. Stop eating bad food. Eat organically. Bad food. And it is the truth. Bad food changes your brain chemistry. It is the truth. Every cycle of my life that I've purposely changed my eating habits. You know how we go up and down, in and out. Now I'm serious. I'm on it now. I'm dairy free, all that now. It's amazing how much clarity, how I sleep better, how I can think better, how my focus is clearer. I'm telling y'all, it is not a cliche. It is not a cliche. When you start eating better. Now, I don't consider myself a health nut, but I'm definitely more health conscious. When I quit eating it, and I told you, I never really liked a lot of fast food, but I still would eat stuff that wasn't the best. Like, I don't fool with Taco Bell. I'm in Chicago. I don't fool with White Castle. If I go to White Castle, I'm getting like some chicken rings, and I'm going to eat like 2. And that's like every blue. That means I'm starving and I just need something and ain't nothing else within 100 miles of me. This, we have to, as you get older, and I'm talking about not just for the obvious, the diabetes and the blood pressure issues and, you know, all these other diseases that are clearly connected to how we eat and how we live, but it will literally have you where your brain is not functioning at its best potential. It'll have you bogged down, gassed up. It's the truth, y'all. It is the truth. And I have just got that thing. I've been, back and forth, eating healthy, not eating healthy, eating healthy, not eating healthy. But I shifted the way I saw food. It wasn't about losing weight, even though I have. It wasn't about losing weight. It wasn't about any of that. It was about, I need to have more energy. I need to be more focused. I need to not be sleepy and gassed up and just face breaking out like I'm a teenager. I need to do things differently so that I can be more functional for the things that really are going to help me be successful. I know y'all have heard this 1,000 times. I know y'all have. I promise you, it is the truth. When you start eating better, you feel better. And let me tell you the one thing that I did, I had to do, and I didn't realize how important it was until I really got disciplined enough to do it, is I quit eating late. I just quit eating late. That was the first thing I did. I said, okay, I cut certain things out. I still eat, but I quit eating late. Eating late will kill you. Eating and going to bed will keep you bogged down, gassed up, unfocused, all of these things. It will do that. I promise you. This is something I know a lot of us have to mature to. We have to get to that place where we start looking at life in a larger scope and not just for the day. All of these things I just went through with you will assist you with getting there. Thank you, Heidi. I've lost 32 pounds, y'all. I got 50 more to go. And it ain't about the weight. You know what I said? Let me tell you what I said. I looked at people that I deem successful. All of us have a different idea about what we consider success. But I looked at those people, and think about when you hear, and I'm not just talking about celebrities, I'm talking about anybody we deem successful. How do they, with their schedules, they work out every day, they manage to eat healthy? We all attribute it to the money because they can afford. I don't care. One thing that does not discriminate, you got rich people on drugs, you got rich people that struggle with weight. People don't realize just because people have money, yeah, it does allow you more options, but you still got to make the decision. You still got to make it. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Just having money don't make you eat healthy. You can have people bring the healthy food to your house. That still don't mean you gonna eat it. You have to, I don't care what financial or socioeconomic class you're in, these are decisions you just have to make. That I said I want to be successful at that level, or a person like that. The only way I'm going to do that is I need the energy to put these hours in to do XYZ, or it's not going to work. I'm going to be too tired, too sleepy. That's another thing. I realize I go to bed. You need to go to sleep. That staying up all night, not getting sleep, people that's reached a certain age, they know that sleep is essential. You be counting hours like, okay, how I'm going to get 8 in? Because I'm going to get 8. I might even need 9. So you think about that. You think about if you are going to sacrifice sleep, what is worth you sacrificing your sleep for? There are some things, I'm sorry, it ain't worth me sacrificing sleep for. People ask me to do stuff, I'm not doing that. That's going to have me up all night and I don't even want to do that. What am I wasting sleep for that for? It ain't worth it. You have to restructure the way you think, as this says. You have to restructure the people you're around. You have to raise your standards. I'm just going back through. You have to start creating duplicatable blueprints for how you have gotten to certain things that you are now successful in and being able to repeat it. You got to stop wasting so much. It didn't say all, but you got to stop wasting so much of your time on frivolous stuff, movies, games, dumb stuff, just stuff that you know has no bearing. It didn't say don't ever take a chill pill and step back. It did not say that, because we all got to push pause sometimes. We got to start structuring how to build our money. See, we're in an industry that if we don't set it up, it doesn't happen. If you don't set up your own retirement, it don't happen. If you don't set up your own savings, you won't have one. If you don't set up how you're going to get from here to there to there to there, if you don't have a growth plan, you won't grow. You have to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you, okay? We got to stop buying dumb stuff. I told you my thing was food. Oh, God. So I've done that. When I travel, I take if for whatever reason I don't have a hotel that has a kitchen in it, because a lot of the ones, extended stay bridges, stuff like that, they have pots and pans and all that there. If I don't have that, then I bring my stuff with me. I've included car rental as part of my, if somebody's paying me a day rate or whatever it is, because I know I got to have a car to go to the grocery store to get what I need food-wise, perishable stuff. I've restructured all of that to make sure that I can maintain this discipline even as I'm growing in other areas. You got to educate. You got to read, guys. You got to read. Get Audible. But you got to do something. You have to be pumping information in your mind all the time so that you can now have the knowledge and the resources of at least where to go find some stuff if you need to find it. You have to read more than just stuff that has pictures in it. You have to. You have to embrace learning, period. And you have to make this decision. And then last but not least, got to change the way we eat. We got to do it. We in salons, I know back when I was in my heyday doing 25, 30 people a day, guys, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I thought that was what it was about. But I mastered that chair. Yes, I did. I mastered that chair. I got that thing. I got that chair where there was no more room to put them in. It was no, all I could do was go the other way. I mastered the chair, but in the fit of mastering, I didn't focus on anything but that. So I ate bad. I'm 17 hours in the shop. I ate bad. I didn't eat it all sometimes, whatever. And it cost me in a lot of ways. I wasn't able to move at the pace I would have liked to until I had to push pause and say, okay, if I'm going to do this, I got to be able to get these things in. I got to figure out how to make them work, how to get them as part of my day. And it was back then when I actually started incorporating toaster ovens and, you know, things at my place of business that I could actually cook food with and bring in food. Now you can buy a lot of fresh food out of Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. We got a store called Pete's here, Myers, for those of you that have Myers. Like, I'll buy a whole chicken that's already seasoned with something, you know, that I don't have to wash and season. I could just put it in. Whatever makes life easier, and it keeps me from spending ridiculous amounts of money. Fine dining, Red Lobster for lunch, Outback for dinner, and this other little spot that sell these $30, $40 breakfasts. And so it kept me from doing that because I knew I could not continue, A, to waste money, and to continue eating bad. It's time to clean up, y'all. It'll be March 1st, tomorrow? It's time for us to prepare for spring. Spring is the season when everything seems new. Everything seems like if I messed up, I got another chance. If I didn't do something right, I got a chance to fix it. That's what spring really represents. That's when you start seeing the leaves come back on the trees. And that's when you start hearing birds. You know, I love when that time of year comes when I'm very conscious of my surroundings. And any of you all like me where you start hearing birds in the morning, I get super excited. I'm like, yes! And I'm in Chicago. So it represents to me that the weather is about to get better. I hear birds in the morning. That represents that life is new for me. Life is new. I messed up, but I'm going to fix it. But you got to change the way you think. Got to change the way you think. You got to change some of the because I know all of us want what's on the other side, but we got to let go of what's right in front of us. We got to be willing to sacrifice. And let me tell you something. Dreams cost. I just want y'all to understand that dreams cost. Y'all know that? Yeah, dreams come with a price. They do. They cost. Ain't no dream free. None. No dream is free. Ain't no free ride to your dream. Steve Harvey has a little statement that he says, I loves it. He says, success is not an elevator ride. You must take the stairs. He said, and I love it. When he first said that, I said, that's such a great analogy. And he even talks about, you know how when you walk upstairs, if you continually walk, what happens? You get tired, right? You get tired. But what you don't do, even when you get tired, if you're walking upstairs, you don't go back down. If you have to sit on the step, catch your bearing, that's how life is. Sometimes some things happen that kind of put us in a holding pattern. That's okay. Just don't go back down. Just don't go back down. Stay on that step, sit down, breathe, do what you got to do. If you got a water bottle, take a sip. Then once you get your bearings, you restructure what you need to do, then you just keep climbing. You just keep climbing, but don't go back. Don't go back down. Going back down is when we fall into these bad habits again. We fall into these old habits of things that we thought we got past and we thought we had put that part in our rearview mirror, and then you find yourself back in that position again. That means you didn't get the lesson. You didn't reflect. And reflection, as John Maxwell says, plus experience becomes insight. And insight leads to wisdom. When you become wiser, you know how to avoid stuff. All that, experience is the best teacher. No. You don't have to go through everything. As you become wiser, you can watch enough people to know what you don't want to do. And if you've been there, you also can become wiser. And if you really know what got you there, start analyzing the steps and the little things that sneak up on you that got you in this position. When you start seeing that, you be like, oh no, that's deja vu. No, I ain't doing that again. So you push pause. But it also requires you to be self-aware. You got to be aware of where you are, what you're thinking, what you're doing. We got so many people walking through this world just oblivious, don't know what's going on. They just waking up and rolling the dice. You gotta change that, guys, and it doesn't come overnight. But the first thing you gotta do is make a decision that I will not continue to live like this. I will not. I do a series called Knowing Your Numbers, and I'm doing an 8-hour workshop in Nashville, April 8th, called Knowing Your Numbers. This is an 8-hour workshop where you will have to bring me 3 months of your income. You will have to bring me your expenses, and then it's a couple other things that you're going to have to bring me, and I'm going to show you what really your money is looking like. I'm going to show you how you can make $500,000, $300,000. Everybody talking about this 6 figure. Yeah, 6 figures is fine, but if you still, as my friend Ivory Mims says, if you make $1 million, but you spend $1 million and 5 cents, you still broke. It ain't making money is not hard if you ain't scared to work. It's keeping it. It's having a net profit that is not in the red. Some of us don't even understand what gross profit is. Gross profit can only be the money you bring in, and I'm going to teach you this in this 8-hour seminar. Direct message me. I actually will be putting a flyer online. They had to redo some stuff. It's going to be April 8th, and then I will also be teaching at Mentorship Miami. I teach a class at that event before the show. I teach it on that Friday. If you want information for that, this is 8 hours. That was 8 hours in Nashville. I think it's only 3 or 4 in Miami, which is where I'm all over the place. I got to think about where I'm going to be. But people don't even fully understand what gross profit is. Gross profit, you cannot figure out gross profit until you take what's called your cost of goods and a cost of goods sold, or either your cost of goods service is what we call in this business. It's called COGS. That means you got to use product, you got to use towels, you got to use this, that. There are things you have to use that come along. So when you made that $5,000 for the week, that ain't $5,000. You got to take out all the money, and I'm going to teach you how to figure out how much product each person uses in your chair to the cent. If you come to this class, you got to take out all that product. After you take out everything that you had to use to get that service, now you have what's called a gross profit. And that could be, if it's $5,000, that could be $3,500, literally. Then you ain't even figured out net profit yet, because if you're paying rent or if you own the salon, your net profit now takes out your fixed expenses, everything you got to pay every month to be able to do what you do here, and you got to pay Sam. So you got to take out all your fixed expenses, and you got to take out what you got to pay Sam. That could take that $1,500 literally to $300, $400, $500. While you thinking you out here flexing, thinking you make $5,000. No, you don't. No, you don't. That $5,000 ain't yours. You got money that's got to come out of that before you even see that. And where people mess up, they don't even realize the products they're using cost too much. They cost too much. That's why so much of your money is affecting your gross profit. I have a statement that I use, and this is in the Knowing Your Numbers segment too. If you love this shampoo, but it costs too much, I need you to love something else. I need you to find something else to love, because it costs too much. I don't care how much you love it. We're going to try some other things, and we're going to learn to love them too. Okay? This is something that is very dear to me as far as us with our money, as far as us changing the way that we think. Everybody I coach has this dream. We're in Nashville. It's actually going to be at Genesis 1, which is, I don't even know the address right offhand. Direct message me, because the flyer will actually be out. I had to send it back. Got to fix some stuff. It's going to be at Genesis 1 on, I don't even know what street that is. So it's going to be in Nashville. So you all direct message me. I'll send you the flyer or send you the exact address, but it will be online once I get the flyer back. But I'm going to be there teaching this 8-hour seminar. And you going to have to bring, we going to do this thing together. So you're going to bring in 3 months of reports, expenses, what you got to pay for, and then I forgot it's something else that you got to bring. My brain is on everything right now, but if you want to get involved in this and start at least knowing where your money goes, because you got to change that too, then you need to see me there. I'm actually going to be doing the webinar next week, and it'll be probably at least a 6-hour webinar. If you're interested in that, and when I say I'm gonna break stuff down, I thought I had actually the book over here for you all to see, but I teach you how to do income statements. Income statements are things that you want to do. If you say you want to open a shop, if you say you want in a year, or if you say you want to, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do. You want to open a shop, you want to expand, you want to do something, you have to do an income statement. An income statement is basically a 1-year projection of what you think your expenses are going to be. You got to do that before you do it. You got to see, okay, this is going to be this. For those of you all wanting to open shops, if it was a shop before yours, there's a way you can find out on average what the electricity is. I can help you with that. What the bills are going to be, what the gas is going to be, whatever it is that you got to spend. There's a lot of expenditures. You need to figure that out before you do it. You create a 1-year income statement, which is a projection of what you're going to spend. You take where you are now, you take where you want to be, you see, if you ain't coming to the table with no money, can you afford it? And if you can, what do I need? Like I told you, to get from 1,000 to 2,000 to 3, what do I need to get from here to here? So when I take on this project, I ain't in no strain. You got to learn how to do that. You need to know what your net worth is. Your liabilities versus your assets. What does that look like? We have to do what's called cash forecasting, which isn't necessarily just about what we're going to buy, but we have to know based off of the almost like an algorithm, or based off of the way that our money now is produced, what is that going to look like in 2 years, 5 years? For those of you all that are in a place where you want to exit out, you want to figure out an exit strategy. Before you can exit, you got to figure out a transitional plan. You got to figure out how to transition from this to that to that. And all of it's going to be about money. It's all going to be about money and time. All of it. Okay? So this thing I have called Knowing Your Numbers, it's about us being able to get our money together, because we making money, but we're not seeing it. And I have learned since I start coaching, a lot of the things that I just read to you also becomes hard to focus on when your money ain't right. When your money ain't right, it's hard to eat right. I'm going to just be straight up, because you ain't got no energy. You like, whatever, just let me grab something so I could live. You can't even focus on eating healthy because your money ain't right. It brings a level of stress. Trust me, I've been there. I know what it means to make $500,000 and be broke, and to make $250 and still robbing Peter to pay Paul. And not because I invested and just maybe took a hit. I'm talking about buying dumb stuff. We have got to change that. And I'm so passionate about it now, because I'm talking to people every single day. And this is the story every single day, is money. Where's my money going? Where is, and they making it. And you get tired of grinding, hustling behind a chair, knowing you making money, and you still have no idea where it's going. I'm telling y'all, because I was there, and I did it over and over. And I said, I woke up, I remembered, I said, no more. No more. I don't care if I got to sit through financial literacy classes. I sat under people that could help me figure this out. I was like, look, I threw the stuff on the table like, look, this ain't making sense to me. Can you help me? I ain't got no problem asking for help. Okay? I don't have pride issues at all. When you get tired enough of something, you'll call me or somebody like me if you can't figure it out, and say, help me. And in order to be helped, you got to be completely transparent. You got to be okay with the fact that I didn't do something right. I messed up. So what? So what you messed up? You ain't dead. It ain't over. We're going to fix it. We're going to figure out where the issues are. This Knowing Your Numbers series will get you there. I promise you, I made it for stylists, for owners, for us, in terms that we can understand. And I'm walking you through every single aspect of this to show you how to do this. I actually have a book. The book is already written, and I have the videos that it's 6 or 7 videos, and you can buy the book with the videos if this is something you want to be able to look at over and over again, or you can actually just buy the book. The book is good. It kind of breaks stuff down, but the videos are me actually with a board, doing examples, showing you step by step how to figure this thing out. how to do all of that, how to read a profit and loss statement. What does that really mean? Okay. We even get into talking about legal structure. How does your legal structure actually affect how you pay taxes? Some of y'all still sole proprietors, or even if you're an S corporation, that's better. Some of us, even like me, believe that I'm an LLC. That don't mean nothing to the government. That only matters to the state. If you are an LLC, that is only state recognized. That means according to the government, according to the federal, the IRS people, you self-employed. Yeah, you are LLC to your state, but when they do your taxes, that's why your name and your Social Security and all that is still on your taxes, because according to the federal government, you are self-employed. And I found that out from the IRS lady years ago. I don't know what I had going on, because I done been in IRS trouble too. Praise God, I don't have that no more. But I called, asked about something. It was the IRS business division that broke that down for me and said, ma'am, I don't know who misinformed you, because I was all proud. I'm an LLC. Matter of fact, I'm about to go get an LLC series. I'm just proud. She said, that's cool. That's cool. But you do know, unless you have a S subchapter or a C subchapter, we look at you like you a DBA, like you a sole proprietor. Just burst my little bubble, hurt my little heart. I'm like, for real? So guess what I did, y'all? I went and got somebody that know more or way more than me to fix all that for me. And now I'm straight. So the bottom line is, information is the only thing that's going to change your life. Going to change your business, going to change your money, going to change your health, going to change the way you think. And information and what you do with it is the only thing that's going to change your life. I have a program. I'm getting ready to start a retail program. Color Me Crazy, as you all know, is my brand too. Come on, give me some love for Color Me Crazy. That's been a baby I birthed back in 2011, 12, somewhere in there. And now we have our own product line, color line coming out, semis, demis, permanents, direct dyes, all that stuff. We got all that. We got lighteners, low ammonia lighteners. We have enzyme development. We got all this stuff coming out. It'll be out within the next like 6 months. So, and we're trickling it in. I built that. I didn't do that, but that wasn't about no products. When I started in 2012, I didn't give two squats about products. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to help people just like me that had messed up time and time again and was like, I still got to do hair. I can't walk away. So I actually did that. I established that program with the mindset, okay, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's take what we do hair and let's figure out how we can add something to that wherever we're deficient, because I had black people, the urban industry in mind. See, I'm a social entrepreneur. I believe one man can change the world, and I'm gonna do my part. So I started that business, Color Me Crazy, color with a K, crazy with 2 E's. I started that as a business building platform, as a way to take us stylists, owners, people that had just been in the game a long time and they were tired of slaving behind a chair, didn't know how to shift, didn't know what to do. I can't walk away because I ain't saved no money. I ain't got no retirement. Y'all know the spiel. I wanted to be able to take what we already had, which was clients, and I wanted to be able to leverage that. Let me tell you how you can turn one client or 5 clients that pay you $500 into the same 5 that can pay you $2,000 with color. I ain't taking you out your element, but I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to structure it, because I took years to learn this, to grow, to take as many classes. I've worked for some companies that actually make color, and so I was on the back end and able to learn. How do y'all do that? Why is it that my Caucasian friends, they in the salon 7-8 hours and they making $2,000 in a day and they ain't sweating, and they able to go to the parties and the baby showers and the weddings and the funerals, and they ain't killing themselves? What's going on here? What is the difference? And I started observing that thing by being in this industry but connected to the other side as well. And I said, well, I'll be dog. 2 things they didn't figure out. They didn't figure out how to do some color. Oh, they got that thing. And guess what, y'all? They didn't figure out how to retail you everything that you didn't even know you wanted. They've learned how to master 2 aspects of this industry that urban salons are still running from. Still running from them. Still running. I don't care what that beauty school teacher told you 30 years ago that you can't do. Everything she said you can't do, you can do today. Yes, you can. But you got to be willing to invest in the products, to invest in the knowledge, to invest in the science, to understand chemistry, to maybe level up a little bit in math so you can weigh stuff. You got to be willing to take yourself out of being comfortable so that you can change and shift in this direction that's only going to make your life easier. Color changed my life. Color was the first thing that I did that started getting me into understanding I don't have to work this hard. Oh, I can do this thing different. And it was a business move. It was not about color. It wasn't. It was the thing that I knew we were running from. We was running from it. So I'm like, why are we running? Just learn how to do it. I started self-educating. I started paying for every class that I could afford. I started learning color is, hey, it's science, baby. It ain't just about where to put it. It's science. You got to know what goes in that bowl. You got to know how to fix stuff. You got to know what might happen. You got to know all the stuff that has nothing to do with just art. Art is fun. Yes, let's put the blue, the greens, purples, and let's tone it, make it this pretty silver. That's cool. But I was about teaching you, and I still am, how to change your business, which will change your life. If I didn't have that component, the color, which that was 7-8 years ago when I really launched it, but I took maybe 6 years before that and became laser focused on it. Like, okay, I need to understand the back end of this. I need to understand how not to wing it, how not to make mistakes. Look, how I use this scale, what I do. I mean, I was a student of everyone that would let me sit under them for at least 5 or 6 years with this color thing. I even decided when I went to shows, all I'm doing is color classes because that's where I'm focused. I'm focused on learning how to do that so I can quit doing 25 people a day, 30 people a day. I thought that was, no, I was killing myself is what I was doing. I was killing myself. And I thought I had it going on. Yeah, I did good, but let me tell you something. When I learned how to do color, I realized, oh, you mean to tell me I could cut this down to from 25 to 10 and make the same money or more and leave this shop before midnight? Oh, you ain't got to tell me nothing. And when I started seeing it happen, man, it was on after that. Now I'm hungry for it. It's almost like when you start losing weight and it's working and you see it, now you become really dedicated to the process because you see the results. And I just wanted to pass that on to my people. Then I realized, okay, I'm getting y'all into that. So 2012, I do Color Me Crazy, 3-day class every month for 3 days in Chicago. Yes, you got to come to me. You got to come to me because it's 8 hours a day. Color on steroids. And even though I have a color brand, it ain't brand specific. I'm teaching you about everything, but I'm teaching you this in a way to build your business. I am not interested in, I tell people, if all you want to do is come here and play with color, this ain't that class. We're going to do that too. But if this solely what you come here for, you just want to play with color and learn how to balayage and color melt, go to the other class. This ain't that. This is about learning all the things that will shift your business, and then we play. Okay? But I tell people that, keep your money. Don't worry about it, because this ain't that. I don't need you being here with me disgruntled for 3 days because this ain't what you thought it was. No, it's a bit, and we do all that, y'all. We do play. We color melt. We do all that. But I make sure you know how to shift your business. So then I went from that to understanding people need to structure their salons. The people need to get their money right. Everything for me is about building your business. I still today, 31 years later, I started this thing at 19 years old. I still love it. But you know why I love it? Because I learned how to not kill myself. I learned to pay attention to my money, to the decisions I was making. I learned how to value things that actually had a return and devalue some of that dumb stuff. I learned how to be more self-aware. I learned how to strategize and market and sit down and come up with growth plans on how to get from here to there, to there, to there. I learned that sacrifice is part of the game. I learned that with growth comes loss. It does. You gonna give up something. You gonna have to lose something. But what you lose is not going to even compare to what you gain. But you got to be willing to surrender something. The reason a lot of y'all can't change, which is the way I started this video, is because you don't want to give up nothing. It's okay. You're going to have to. You cannot gain without giving up. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You want to start saving money? I can teach you how to save $10,000 in a year. You won't even feel it. But guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to figure out how to give up $10,000 worth of something else. Like I gave up drinking Starbucks 3 times a day. This is my second one a week, and I ain't going to have no more. I went and bought a Keurig. You know what? I'm going to buy something that froths some milk. If that's all I need, because I prefer it with milk in it and I want it steamed, I'm going to buy something that does that. That steams milk. I was about to buy the Starbucks thing. It was cheaper than spending $15 a day on Starbucks, you know, and I had to come to that. I realized, okay, this habit, I got to kick this. I don't care what I got to do. I got to kick it. There were times it was so hard for me, guys. I would ride in the Starbucks line, and I would know I didn't need another one. And I would tell her, I changed my mind. I'm not going to order. And I would just sit there in the line, just waiting to get out because I knew I didn't need to do it. When I used to be a shopaholic, when I curbed that, I would go in the mall because I still was trying to, it was like my, what do they call it when they weaning you off? I would go in the mall, but I wouldn't buy nothing. I just needed to look. Some of y'all tell me what y'all do is buy the stuff and take it all back. I ain't got time for that, okay? When I needed to wean myself off of being a black belt shopper, okay? Whatever you need to do. If you need help, I can help you. And I'm telling you, I get it now. Why God allowed me to endure so much stuff. I was like, God, really? Well, as my client used to say, God, if this is a test, can I have it on some paper? Because this is too much. God allowed me to endure so much because God knew that this was going to be my position in life. And I am not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know. I did it. I did it right. I did it wrong. I did it right again. Did it wrong again. And I finally got that thing right. So I can give you real steps. A, B, C. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take baby steps. But I want to see my people be in a better position. I want to see my salon owners, my stylists. I want to see them not be a hostage to their chair and literally be able to live their lives. God, I want to see it. And I'm naturally a passionate person, any of y'all that know me. But because I now coach, and I got 3 groups now. I got Aspire, Stretch, and Build. They're all different. You want to know about any of them? Build isn't on my website yet. Aspire and Stretch is, but now that I'm having to get into the lives of people, and you think stuff, but when people tell you what it is, and you hearing it over and over and over again, I'm like, God, I gotta figure out how to help them. And then I realized this ain't just the people I'm talking to. I talk to other coaches, and it's this epidemic of these bad behaviors that are gonna kill us. And I'm gonna read you all something. This was one of my mentors when I was younger, and this was a person I looked up to. And, you know, I really was like, I want to be where she is. And she sent me a text. And I actually mentioned this on another Facebook Live some while ago. And this lady was like in 7 figures. I mean, she was killing the game, right? Back in the day, doing her thing. She said, "Good morning, Nikki. I'm just thinking about you. Knowing that you influence other stylists, I really have a story to tell them about their finances that I have encountered since I have retired. Can we talk?" I called her. She broke down to me all that money she made, that she didn't invest, that she didn't do this, that she didn't do that. We had a really great conversation. It grieved my soul though. And she said, if I did not have my husband, everybody ain't got a husband. Everybody don't have a partner that can pick up the slack. Everybody don't have that. She said, if it was not for him, I honestly don't know what I would do now. I would literally be on probably government assistance. She was talking about she would be, going to the county hospitals for health because she got health issues now. She's about 70 something. She said, I want to be on a panel with you. I want to talk with people about my life, what I didn't do that got me where now I'm in this situation. And if it wasn't for me having a husband that was stable, that retired, I forgot what he did for a living, that was able to provide the things that they both need in life, she said, I don't know what I would do. This lady did hair for 45 years. 45, guys. We got to do something different. I'm telling you, it is not a joke. It is not something I'm just saying just to scold you all, but it is real. We have got to change what we're doing. And it ain't nothing worse than seeing somebody 70 plus behind a chair, pissed off, mad, because they don't want to be there, but they don't have a choice. It is nothing worse than that, guys. We got to do better. Okay? So DM me if you have any questions on anything I just said. If you need some help, I got a gang of programs that could help you. If it's something that I think you need help in other areas, I have other people that I will send you to. But I'm going to direct you in some direction. Now, you do know help ain't free now. Y'all do know that. Help is not free. So that is also sometimes part of the sacrifice, part of the thing that you're going to have to give up. Is help don't come free. So whether it's me or someone else, you're going to have to put some skin in the game for us to help you. So if you are interested in anything, knowing your numbers, I will be doing that workshop actually in multiple cities. I have it already set up now for Nashville and for Miami. If you want to know how to get involved in that, what it costs, DM me, because I just haven't put it up on the website yet because I have to have some things changed on the flyer or some things that were incorrect. So I'm going to see if my graphics guy, this should be about the time he's waking up. I'm going to see if I can get him to change that today so I can go ahead and get that put on. I'm doing coaching calls pretty much all day today. So I'll be involved in that, helping people who have decided to make the decision that I'm going to pay for help. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay for it. Tell me what to do, and we're going to get this thing together. Y'all with me? This is Knowledge by Nikki, y'all. At 9. I don't even know what time it is now. It's 10:21. I've been talking to y'all for 1 hour and 21 minutes. I got to go. Peace out. Y'all share this video. Hopefully it can help somebody. Shift them. Share it with every group you got. Everybody you know that needs it. Send it directly to them. I just want us to change. The spring is coming. And I don't want you to get caught in the winter and you still ain't changed nothing. Because when the winter come back around again, it's hard to change it when it gets cold. It's hard. That's when things go into hibernation mode and things slow down. So let's change it while the sun is up. All right? Deuces. I'm out. Knowledge by Nikki. See you next.